You want some good kidneys and you want some good adrenals? Chill out. Drink water, like as the big ones, right?
Welcome to the Clear Skin Chronicles, the podcast that takes you on a journey to uncover the secrets of achieving glowing, acne-free skin. We believe that knowledge is power, and by understanding the root causes of acne, we can create a solid foundation for long-lasting clear skin. I'm Katie Stewart, registered holistic nutritionist and founder of the Clear Skin Solution, where we help women just like you get to the root cause of their acne.
And I'm Chris Brown, registered holistic nutritionist and program director inside the Clear Skin Solution. Through functional testing, we pinpoint where the body system imbalances lie, so we can dive deep into the acne clearing journey.
We work virtually with clients to clear up their skin from the inside out and have helped thousands of women worldwide regain their confidence.
We talk a lot about stress. A lot.
Do we, Chris? Do we?
Maybe sometimes we are. Who knows? Asking for a friend. However,
I'm that friend. I'm that friend, by the way.
But when it comes to stress, there's also a big, well, there are actually two little organs, kidney-shaped organs on top. It's kidney-shaped. Oh, what day is it? What's my name?
I don't know anymore, Chris. Can we just can we rewind?
Let's back up. Okay.
Back it up.
We
Try
have
again.
Two tiny little nuggets. Like I call them jelly beans.
Yes, you were trying to go after bean, not kidney.
No, and now I'm thinking kidney beans, right? Everything looks like. So these two triangle organs called the adrenals that sit on the kidneys. And I know you and we talk about stress and how we need to do stress reductions, and we'll talk more about that. However, when we want to talk in depth of what that looks like, we really need to tackle that adrenal support. We need to tackle the adrenal foods. We need to know what antagonizes the adrenals so that we can mitigate these stress-like responses to the body. On top of that, we never want to forget about the kidneys, because how many times have you heard clients say, oh my gosh, you know what? I have repetitive UTIs and I have, I just have acne. I just have UTIs. And I say, okay, has the doctor done any ultrasounds or seeing how you have the adrenal function, your cortisol production? No, why? I'm talking to you about my kidney. I'm talking to you about my vaginal health, not my kidneys, not my adrenals.
Now, I want to back up here just to kind of tie it together for everybody, because today this is part 3 of Detox for your skin, right? So we did part 1, which is gallbladder, liver. We already did part 2, which was lymphatic. So if you haven't listened to those, go back and listen to those, because today is part 3. So we're building upon each one of these. And this is Detox for your skin, adrenals, and kidneys. And the reason why we're bringing adrenals in, even though it's not technically one of our detoxification organs, our kidneys are. Our kidneys are one of our detoxification organs, like our lymphatics, like our liver, and as well. And the reason why we're bringing the adrenals in is because stress can impact your body's ability to detoxify. Did I wrap the bow around that well for everybody today?
Yeah, you did. You get in my head.
I know.
And
That's what I'm here for, everybody.
You English me.
I interpret Chris. I am the Chris interpreter.
We have
for everybody.
It's a skill. We have
it is a skill set, everybody. All right, so let's dig into it, because the adrenals and kidneys, I feel like these are like, the adrenals get a little bit of love on social, but the kidneys, they don't get much love, right? The liver hogs the spotlight a lot, the gut, but the kidneys want a little love too. So Chris, I'll let you go into really breaking down what is the function of the kidneys and the adrenals, where are they, and how do they get taxed? And then we can lead into all of the fun, other stuff.
All right. So our kidneys, they sit near the back. So if you take the palms of your hands and you put them just above your bum where, your fingers are touching.
And everybody's doing that. Everyone's
doing it. They're like, they want to feel their kidneys.
If you're driving, don't do it though. If you're driving, don't do it.
So a little bit in between the spine and the sides. So that's where your kidneys hang out. So when you get that lower back pain?
Sometimes it can be kidneys.
Sometimes it might be our kidneys. And through traditional Chinese medicine, kidneys, they're connected with acne
Mm-hmm.
and a little thing we like to call fear. So we don't need to tackle that too much because we've
That's a
done that
big
many
topic.
times. Yeah, I know. I'm like, skirt, get out of that. However, not only do the kidneys filter, they play a role in vitamin D. How many people know that one?
Mm.
However, I want to talk just quickly on when the kidneys get impaired, because everyone, this is a big topic, and why I want to zone in right here and like I just want to like rip off the band-aid is because we attribute many things to other things, meaning you have no idea that this could be the quality of the kidneys. So let me just touch on a few here. Extremely dry skin. Hello, acne sufferers.
Mm-hmm.
Oily or dry, you better believe it. These are the two beasts. It's like do we get a happy medium? I don't know. What's a happy medium?
What's a happy medium?
Estrogen too. So, rough, scaly. It can be feel tight. I always call it like my fish-like scales sometimes. Do you ever get fish-like scales?
I don't actually ever get fish-like scales. What
On
do you
to a
mean?
different topic. Itchy skin.
Where are these fish-like scales appearing, Chris?
Because shingles, right? Like on your house, and I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the virus, but shingles, your skin can
Oh yeah,
start to
you're getting
peel
like the dry. Yeah.
scale
But I've never had mine look scaly.
because you're still a spring chicken.
Okay, no, Paige is a spring chicken. I am going to be
No,
35.
she's a
I am going to be
chick.
35 this year. Thank you.
She's a chick. You're a spring chicken, and I'm dinner. So that's how that goes.
I was going to say rooster, but I thought that was a low blow.
Yes, you can't do that. Now, see, everybody on YouTube is now going to know what I mean because I've had to do that. All right. As Katie digresses, we're going to talk about itchy skin.
Okay, let's do it.
Right? Itchy skin, especially when we have skin eruptions, it can hurt and it can be itchy. If we have that braille-like bump, okay, that might be a gut microbiome, and we have to be maybe looking at, culture, pathogens, these things. But extremely itchy skin, like extremely, that's more advanced kidney disease. And before everyone's like, oh, itchy skin. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we don't realize it. Eczema, I'm not talking same kind of thing. What can we look at? Bleeding, skin sores, leathery skin. What else is there? Oh, changes in color. This one's awesome. So really unhealthy and pale. I haven't been in the sun. Gray hueing. This sometimes I see, especially if someone's taken long time antibiotics. And why? Antibiotics is going to go and take out the good, the bad. However, guess what? The bad populates really, really quickly. They understand the language. They're like Katie when Chris talks, right? They just get it. So what happens is then we start to might see repetitive yeast infections when we come off the antibiotics, or UTIs. And again, the impaired kidneys. So that gray hue, we want to watch for that. And why? Because we might not have the ability, I want to say, to get nutrients in. It almost blocks it. And there is something we do in the Clear Skin Solution is we call it breaking down the barriers. If somebody's skin is gray, and there was a client, and she was in the top end of her 20s, gray skin. What? No. So we had to break down the barriers. Yellowish skin, we automatically just attribute that to jaundice, right? Yellow skin, liver, these types of things. Cysts and spots that look like whiteheads. Fair. Nail changes. Now, this one is very underestimated because we can see nail changes and people think thyroid. Not discounting it. However, the fingernails, toenails, both, we want to watch that. Like, do we have whites, pale? Do we have bands? Do we, long striations, definitely thyroid. The other one, swelling, edema. And where's edema love to hang out for the kidneys? Ever heard of cankles? When you're pregnant, you retain water, right? We've done the pregnancy a couple
I've
times.
done the pregnancy thing a few times.
Yeah. So as I go through these lists, I just want to show you that that's how detrimental it is for us to understand the quality of the kidneys. I mean, I'm not even touching on a lot of it. How it relates to acne is we have to watch how the body's filtering and the pH balance, because it controls that for the blood.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to talk about blood chi and energy of the blood.
I was waiting for you to go there.
Stagnant blood, and I love the blood.
She does love blood.
I do. I mean, not to
does.
see it or anything like that.
Really?
But
does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me.
No, it doesn't bother me.
No, I just get like sometimes getting a needle like withdrawn if they don't hit the vein bothers me.
Oh, I've had so many jabs, like so many IV drips and ozones and blood draws. Like if you look at the insides of my elbows, they're just like tons of little hyperpigmentation from all the jabs.
Okay, so
My
when they
IVs.
miss something though, how bad does that hurt? If they miss a vein?
Honestly, I'm used to it. Like I've had it where they've had to jab me like 5 times in a row to get a spot.
Okay, we got to stop talking about that because I'm actually getting nauseous now.
Like it doesn't feel good. It's not one of my favorite. Like it's not like I'm asking for it, but to me, it's not the end of the world. I think I'm just so used to it because I've been doing a lot of treatments for my health that I just get jabbed with IVs and that kind of stuff all the time.
I have excess saliva in the back of my throat right now.
I know everybody listening's like, Katie, please stop talking. I'm sorry, everybody.
I have to do my breathing.
The nurses listening are like, yeah, no, I get it.
Okay, so we've touched about some things, right, outside of acne, because we've already said acne and kidneys, bam. If you have dirty blood, you're going to have acne likely, or you're going to have some
The name of Chris's first book will be Dirty Blood.
Dirty Blood. I like it. I hope somebody doesn't take that. But now we need to understand how to support the kidneys. So we know we have this. We know we might have a lifestyle factors with UTIs, these things. We understand that there could be circumstances like pharmaceuticals, a low water.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, kidneys need water, people.
Yeah, because what do our kidneys do, Chris? Why do they need that water?
It needs to filter, detoxify, right? I'm trying to keep it very simple, but essentially that's what it is. There's different things that, the other thing is dandelion tea. I'm going to jump to foods for a second, just because this is like a irritant to me. Dandelion tea is always said for the liver. It is very stimulating and helpful for the gallbladder and for the kidneys. Mm-hmm. And so, it comes as flowers, leaves, roots, these ones here. Why? Dandelion has potassium, which helps the kidneys filter the toxins. And hello, we get sexy, improved blood flow. Mm-hmm. We have unicorn poop. Now I have to find something for sexy blood.
Sexy. Well, I know I keep saying your first book will be called Dirty Blood.
Yeah, I have to vibrant blood or something. I got to reshape that. Mm-hmm. So knowing that this happens and knowing that we need to stay hydrated, I truly love, just because it's so antioxidant, hibiscus.
I love a hibiscus tea, and we have a really great iced hibiscus tea on the blog. Let's put that in the show notes for everybody because it's delish.
Is that the raspberry one or the?
It's the iced raspberry hibiscus. No, it's the raspberry hibiscus iced tea. Yes. It's some combination of those 4 words. Everybody,
no, you nailed it. It is the raspberry hibiscus. You want to know why? Because my kids love it.
Delish, right? It's so good.
Yeah, and everybody, because we know alcohol does not favor with the kidneys and acne. Let me tell you, this is a mocktail. You get your ice going. You get this raspberry hibiscus iced tea in there. You do a nice little fresh mint. Your drink is looking sexy. Even a splash of sometimes we can non-carbonate it or carbonate it for something in a different bubbly palette. But let me tell you, we've got to go there. So go ahead.
Oh, she's going to let me speak today, everybody. I thought I was going to rename it to the Chris Brown Show. Featuring Katie.
You should. Special guest, Katie.
Special guest, Katie Stewart, everybody. Special guest.
You're welcome. You're welcome for joining.
Thank you so much, everybody. Well, and like I kind of let Chris go a little bit on this one because I know like talking about the body system, the organs, like really light her up because she does teach about it. So, I know when to take a back seat once in a while. But when we're really looking at those kidneys, right, Chris, is we can really break it down. Is it is a key part of the body's natural filtration system, right?
Absolutely.
Because kidneys work to filter waste and extra fluid out of the body, right? Which then becomes urine. It's part of excreting those fluids. So it's also playing a role and it's helping to balance your electrolytes. It's helping to balance your blood pressure.
Yep.
It also helps to produce hormones that's going to be regulating a lot of your different bodily functions. And then when we look at that skin health component, because it's part of the body's detoxification system, it's, that bigger system of organs, it's going to be really helpful for preventing the toxic buildup in your body, right? Like the toxicity that's going to increase inflammation, that's going to inflame your skin, and even other skin issues as well. So that's just kind of, again, summarization, Bo.
Exactly. Even the alderstone, which is a hormone from the kidneys, that goes in and it says, hey, kidneys, morning, look, here comes sodium through our sexy blood flow, clean blood chi, right? And what it does, it releases potassium into the urine. So when we have potassium sparing drugs like spironolactone, which is highly recommended and used, I mean, we've seen it time and time and time and time again. We have to watch when you see their hair trace mineral come back and their sodium potassium is right through the roof. Are you on spironolactone? You don't even have to tell me. Like, either you're not drinking enough, you don't have spironolactone, you have a water softener. Like, I'm going there right off the bat. So we don't want an imbalance of sodium and potassium because, one, we can dehydrate. Two, it throws off hormones. So when we're like, oh, do I have hormonal acne? Well, yeah, you have so many hormones but we're not just talking all sex hormones. So, and like you said, they have to balance of that electrolyte, the sodium and the magnesium. Magnesium is needed by everything in the body. So if our minerals and our kidney loving minerals are imbalanced, do you think your kidneys are happy? Think your skin's happy? Think your stress response is happy? Think your adrenals are happy?
And those adrenals, right, sitting right on top of your kidneys,
hanging out.
They're hanging out. They're going to be working hand in hand. And your adrenals produce a number of different hormones in the body, right? They're going to be producing cortisol, which is your stress hormone. It's going to be helping to produce adrenaline, and it's also going to be helping to produce aldosterone. So these are three key hormones that are being produced in the adrenals. And when we're looking at those individual ones, is the cortisol, right? Like, that is known as your stress hormone. And if we are in this constant state of stress and we are dealing with ebbs and flows, we got high cortisol, we got low cortisol, like we got some cortisol imbalances, this is going to be impacting your immune system, which is involved in your skin health, right? Because your immune system helps to fight off the P. acne bacteria. And it's also going to be impacting your blood sugar. It's going to be increasing sebum production in the skin, which is going to be leading to more breakouts. And the aldosterone, right? This is a hormone that's helping to regulate that sodium and potassium that we were just talking about, Chris, right? It's going to be
important.
Impacting the fluid balance. We already mentioned the blood pressure. So we would need to be ensuring that we're having these right nutrients that are being delivered to our skin cells. And then when we're looking at that adrenaline, which is also known as epinephrine, this is helping us respond to the stress, right? Respond to those daily stressors, whether it's the traffic in the car or your kid throwing a baseball through the window. Those are all stressors that the adrenaline is going to be responding to, right? The adrenaline is going to be kicking on when we're running from that saber-toothed tiger historically. And, while there may not be as a direct, obvious impact on the skin, these spikes, if we're living in that constant chronic stress and we're getting strikes of this adrenaline, this is going to be indirectly impacting our skin health as well.
Which is all correlated to the electrolytes of sodium, potassium.
Yeah, right back down sodium, potassium.
Like bang, bang, bang. Now, most people are potassium deficient or biounavailable. And we need more potassium than sodium by ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So one little thing I'd like to tell everybody is if you have a water softener, be very careful because that is sodium chloride. I have a water softener, not a fan, but I have one because I tried not to have it, and my dishwasher wouldn't do the dishwashing stuff.
Oh, and we need that.
Like the first world problems.
First world problem right there, Chris.
But I would get all this crustacean on my stuff, right? And I'm like, oh, but I need it to be clean. So I go and I do 2 bags of potassium and 1 bag of sodium.
Mm-hmm.
One of the NDs I work with goes, oh, well, don't you think of everything? I'm like, no, I'm just hoping it's a biohack.
Chris and her biohacks. I think we need to do an entire episode on biohacks with Chris.
No, because that just says, can you go into Chris's brain? You would need to transcript this.
Well, that is, again, that is what I'm here for. That is one of my titles in the company is Chris's interpreter.
Well, actually, it should be a title. So
it should be, and I just made it one. So
dehydration is going to impair the delivery system, is what you're saying, right? We need to get rid of that waste. Water, my gosh, you need it for your blood, your kidneys, absolutely everything. 60% water is in your body. So why don't we love ourselves some water? And people do not do well with water. Mm-hmm. 1, especially in the winter. 2, it's boring. And 3, really, I'm just so busy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so busy. And that gets kicked out. So we know that if the kidneys get stressed, where's inflammation going to go? Yeah, it's going to go right to the face, right to the joints, right? The ankles, the edema.
Whole body. We're getting some systemic inflammation, everyone.
Now think about all those symptoms I led with. Now I'm going to tie them back in. Dry skin, gray skin, mm-hmm. yellow skin, everything. So I know eliminating sugar, refined salts. We don't want to be impacting the kidneys with more of that, right?
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, let's kind of tie the kidneys and adrenals together for detoxification, and let's go into how can we be, and then we'll go, how do they get impacted? And then we can talk about how, like, some lifestyle foods we can be doing to level up, right? So when we're looking at the connection between the adrenals and kidneys, of course, because the adrenals sit on the kidneys, there's going to be mm-hmm. a connection there, right? Mm-hmm. So we know, like we just talked about, is the adrenals produce different types of hormones in response to stress, which can actually influence kidney function. Because if we're looking at that chronic stress, those high cortisol levels, this can actually put a strain on your kidneys, which is then going to domino effect and impair the kidney's ability to filter toxins efficiently. So you can see how, even though, we have all these different organs in our body, they're all so interconnected and they truly rely on the health of each other. So when we have really efficient kidneys, we got some great adrenal function, things are feeling good, this is going to really help to bolster our body's own internal environment, right? It's going to be keeping it balanced. It's going to be keeping it happy, which is then going to be reducing the risk of that, of the toxin buildup, which is going to be impacting our skin health.
Yeah, get it out. And by the way, with the adrenals, and acne, mm-hmm. everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is hormonal acne, right? It's androgen, excessive androgen. Well, there is a specific mm-hmm. hormone, androgen dominant, in the adrenals. Mm-hmm. So when our adrenals, when our stress goes off and we're pumping out these hormones, doesn't mean that we have hormone-related acne. It means that we are causing issues through things we don't know to the body, and that can perpetuate those hormones being imbalanced. So this is why we love sex hormones and we love all the hormones, but this is why everything we do in the Clear Skin Solution is we go to try and balance that inflammatory response, pressures off the organ systems first, open up the pathways, because once we do that, I've seen people in 6 weeks go, I have glowing skin, I'm good. What am I doing for the rest of my time?
Oh, don't you worry, we'll fill it.
Don't you worry, we've got stuff here.
We got lots of stuff to do. Your skin's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, and then their hormones regulate, their menses stay returns, these types of things. Because once we take out even that stress response and balance out our sodium, potassium, or sodium, magnesium, realign the anti-inflammatory foods, the body goes, I know what to do again. Right?
So, Chris, when we're looking at, say, adrenals that are struggling a little bit, kidneys that are also struggling a little bit, what would be some symptoms that they may be experiencing if their kidneys need a little love or their adrenals need a little love?
Well, I think I went into like the kidneys, the symptoms of what we see commonly with the skin.
We do. And like, of course, with the kidneys, like the urinary tract, like we see that quite a bit. We have a lot of clients that have UTIs, like chronic UTIs.
Yeah, yucky. The other thing is what I see when we talk about that vitality or that stress response. So here's the thing. We know sodium, potassium, sodium, magnesium, these are electrolyte panels, and I'm just going to kind of hone in on those because we understand that sodium has to come in, potassium has to release these things. It's called the proton pump inhibitor, actually, if you want the geek fact or something to research. However, the vitality, that stress-like response, now let's get into the adrenals. This is not just adrenals, because we're now, if this is low, we're going into a burnout or parasympathetic stage.
Yeah, like we're struggling. We're super tired. We're struggling to get up in the morning. We got, what about cravings, Chris? Cravings.
Yeah. So if we are in that burnout stage, that chronic like state, we could be looking at cravings for salt.
Or sweets.
Sweets usually with the acute, right? So the other thing is we might have, when we start to have like that low vitality, that parasympathetic like burnout, those adrenals are like clawing our way through the desert into a mirage, just looking for that water. Our energy is going to suffer because the body is struggling to, or maybe even has poor metabolizing methods.
Or maybe we'll be seeing like low blood pressure where like you're getting dizzy when you're standing up, or hypoglycemia, right? Like the low blood pressure. The low blood sugar. That's going to be going right hand in hand with your adrenals. What about our mood swings, right? The irritability, the anxiety. Or
what about emotionally?
Yeah.
So if we are in that parasympathetic or burnout versus the fight or flight, which is sympathetic, because it's two different ones, right? So even if we're going in that burnout stage, this is where people are going to be frustrated. They're going to, have levels of resentment, and everyone's like, oh, who me? Resentment means judgment. And who do we judge the most?
Ourselves.
Yeah. And, as clients come through and as they express different things and everything, what happens? They always say, well, how come everybody else can do it and I can't eat like that? Why can they have pizza and donuts and coffee and I can't? That's resentment, right? And we also see with this adrenal implication, this stress like this, is people start to have a reduction in their ability to start isolating their symptoms. They don't know when they're tired. They don't know when they're hungry. Those are really big ones. Or what do they have the ability to do? La, 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 and push through. Adversely, if we're in sympathetic dominance, edema, inflammation for the liver, the kidneys, autoimmunes. This one, what about the onset or the desire to push yourself hard?
Chris,
that was direct.
You're yelling at me.
Did you see my eye contact? However, this is kind of neat because when that sodium potassium becomes biounavailable, that could also be signaling that estrogen dominance. Hello, hormone. So we're not saying, again, you don't have hormonal acne. We're saying it might not be perpetuated. It might not be the true cause of it. But yeah, we're getting imbalances. It's like that teeter-totter, back and forth, right?
Yeah. So let's now go into some foods to eat, avoid, some lifestyle
habits. Do you
habits.
like minerals? Do you really like minerals?
Of course I do.
I feel like you take a nap, like when I talk.
I don't take a nap. I just take a back seat because what's the point in me interjecting?
Because I get really excited. I know.
She doesn't leave any like a breath for me to jump in and be like, what? What?
If we were recording together, I would get a swift kicked under the table right now.
Elbow?
Shut up. Be quiet.
But I truly know you like minerals a lot, so I let you take the stage on that one.
I do love minerals. So undervalued.
It's a give and take. We have a ebbing and flowing relationship. Sometimes you get to talk more, sometimes I talk more.
I will never ever get anything in when we talk about birth control. So
exactly.
I feel it's fair.
There we go.
Yeah,
we have our topics.
We do.
But let's go into some foods and lifestyle habits, because lifestyle habits are really big for adrenals and kidneys.
Love it.
So when it comes to foods to avoid, like they're pretty similar.
Absolutely.
Between adrenals and kidneys. It's like, I know, please don't egg my house. Please don't send me hate mail. I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger.
Please message me if you want the address to do all of the above.
Big ones for adrenals, you guys, is caffeine and alcohol. I know I'm just the messenger. Don't be upset with me.
Sugar, sweets, carbohydrates.
Stop it.
We might as well just rip off the Band-Aid.
You ripped off that Band-Aid real hard. And I feel like there's going to be gushing blood everywhere.
Well, that's because I'm forwarding your address.
Let ease them into it, okay? Especially if you have adrenal insufficiency. Is there like, what do you mean? Those are all my favorite things. You're just telling me I can't have any of my favorite things. So
slow and steady.
So caffeine is going to be really impactful, right? Because caffeine is going to be impacting your stress response. Some ways to get, you know what? My Alexa's talking at me. Hold on, Alexa. Quiet down over there, girl. She heard me talking.
Even she wants to join in the conversation.
Yeah. And even she's like, let me pull that up for you. So when we're looking at caffeine.
Oh my gosh. Can she hear me?
She can. I have had Chris. I've had headphones on.
Well, you know how I feel about AI.
I know I'm so far gone because my entire company's online. Everything I do is online. I'm far gone, right? So it doesn't, I am a lost cause at this point. I'm on a list somewhere. They have me on a list. And you know what? You're probably on that list with me. So just chill over there.
Okay.
We're going to be on that list together. So yes, caffeine, that's going to be one. If you are dealing with some adrenal issues, we recommend holistic nutrition in general, just because it's going to be impacting your stress response. So maybe let's try switching to a decaf, or maybe you could be having a matcha, because even though it still contains caffeine, it has an amino acid called L-theanine that helps provide a more alert, calm, and more stable versus a hard and fast. Chris, I made you a matcha and you said it wasn't bad.
I also did not confirm it was good.
She's just because you prefer your coffee. Don't listen to her, everybody.
It makes you itch. I'm just letting you know, it makes you itch under your chin.
Okay, that's a histamine, and that's a you issue.
By the way, yeah, it's high histamine.
And that's her issue, everybody.
It is a me issue.
Oh, and what about coffee, Chris?
It's less than matcha. That's all you need to know.
Let's move on. We digress. Okay, so caffeine. We talked about that. Alcohol also is going to be impactful for your kidneys and your adrenals.
Diuretics, people, right? So it pushes out where, we need them for bowel stimulation, and that's why people can do it as well. But when you prematurely loosen your stools, you're also ripping nutrients out that could be there. And in the colon, we do 2/3 of our water extraction in that process, which we need. So when we drink coffee, matcha, don't do it. When we drink these things, please make sure, just to be at ground zero, that one coffee mug needs to have at least 2-3 of the equal amounts of water to get back that ground zero playing field.
Yeah. And then from the caffeine and alcohol, now that we really hammered that home and we have people sending us hate mail, refined sugar, refined carbohydrates, right? And when we say refined carbohydrates, these are things like the bagels at the coffee shop, the baked goods in the lunchroom, the bag of chips, the box of cookies. These refined carbohydrates that are going to be spiking your blood sugar, but they're also going to be stressing your adrenals as well. And of course, with your kidneys, the refined table salt, the white refined table salts. That doesn't mean you can't have salt. We just want to have healthier salt. We want to be reaching for the sea salt, the pink salt, the Himalayan salt. These are going to be really lovely salts.
Celtic even.
Yeah. Those ones are great because they have natural minerals, as Chris loves. They have natural minerals, and they haven't been devoid of all of their nutrients as well. And then, of course, overall processed foods, right? Like your junk foods, those are going to be really impactful, and vegetable oils.
especially hydrogenated oils, you know, and trans fats.
Yeah, the
It's
trans fats.
so much pressure on the body system. Specifically to the kidneys, what I do like when is, and even like it's just, I do like cranberries for all of the
Cranberries.
above. And they're like,
Yeah.
what? For the adrenals? It's a nice little tonic you can make, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Let's go
yeah,
into the foods to eat. Like, let's
yeah,
embrace all of the amazing foods, right? And of
amazing.
course, you want to, I'm going to list in the show notes. We have a blog on kidneys and a blog on adrenals. So that way you can go
Yep.
and reference it, of course. And we're going to go right back down. Like, you hear us talk about this all the time. Have that base of your anti-inflammatory nutrition. These are going to be things that we want to be having as, you know, omega-3 fats. So think, you know, the raw nuts, the seeds, the wild salmon, the sardines, the anchovies. We're looking at healthy fats in general, right, Chris? Like the avocado, the coconut, olives. Olives have that really lovely natural source of saltiness to it as well. We're
They're
going to be
high in
looking.
sodium. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pickles, fermented pickles.
I love a Bubby's pickle. You know, I love a Bubby's pickle.
We do. We are
Big
faves.
fan of Bubby's.
Yeah.
Dark leafy greens, right? So your spinach, your kale, your Swiss chard, dandelion greens, collard greens, the dark pigmented fruit, like really look at the pigmentation of your fruit because these are going to have really powerful anthocyanins, which are great antioxidants. So things like wild blueberries, your dark cherries, your blackberries, these are all really wonderful foods to get those anthocyanins. Then we're looking at, Chris, the cruciferous vegetables, right? Kale, cauliflower,
Love.
Brussels sprouts.
Entire body love.
Love. Your body loves. And if you don't digest it well, try making sure you cook it well beforehand as well. And, you know, protein. Your adrenals need protein.
Facts.
They love protein. So whether you're omnivore, you're eating, you know, chicken and turkey, sustainable fish, or grass-fed beef, bison, wild game, or you're plant-based. So you're doing lentils, legumes, beans. Get that protein in there. And some other ones I want to add on there would be the functional mushrooms, Chris. Like, you know, we love a functional mushroom up in here, whether it's the reishi, the cordyceps, the chaga. Like, there's so many wonderful functional mushrooms you can be getting in. And you can get these in tinctures, of course. Like, you can get a reishi tincture or whatever. Or you can be getting the mushroom, what's the word I'm looking for, Chris? The shaky shake. The powdered drink mixes is what I was going for. The shaky shake.
The shaky. Okay. Note to self: don't pick me in charades. My goodness.
No, when I can't think of a word for something, I make the noise that I think it makes. I make sounds.
What's your blender
the shaky shake
called? Yeah.
No, it's the Food Pro. It is called the Buzz Buzz.
The Buzz Buzz.
The Buzz Buzz.
When I can't find a word, I'm like, "Where's the dinker?"
Yeah, no, you got to make the noise that it makes.
No, I say dinker. It's universal.
All right, it's universal, everybody. Fine. So there's you know, two brands come to mind. Harmonic Arts. Harmonic Arts is a really great Canadian company. Yeah. They have their 5 elixir mushroom cacao, and it makes the most delicious hot chocolate. You do not taste the mushrooms, don't worry. Four Sigmatic, that's an American brand you're going to find really regular. So you can be, and I know Four Sigmatic, like you can get like their chill, which is just reishi as well. So you can be getting those individual ones. And this is also for your adrenals where the adaptogens can come in handy, right? So and again, when it comes to adaptogens, I know Chris is about to have a panic attack. We want to be making sure that they're correct for your body. But in general, some adaptogens could be ashwagandha, rhodiola, holy basil, licorice, ginseng, those types.
Now,
of
careful
things.
On the lish.
I know.
Careful on the licorice.
I knew she was going to jump in and be like, hey,
couple things. High blood pressure, not a friend. Testosterone dominance, not loving it, right? As well as licorice is really nice to the gut. It's, if you're having sugar cravings, you can do it in a tea, these types of things. So I'm down. Like, I love me some licorice. And it doesn't really taste like licorice for those of people that haven't tried it. The holy basil, I love. It also helps support balanced blood sugar. Am I drooling? I feel like I'm drooling.
I know, she's drooling.
I love herbs.
Let's talk herbs because they can be so powerful, especially for the kidneys, right? Like the dandelion tea, so wonderful for your kidneys.
You want some good kidneys and you want some good adrenals? Chill out. drink water, like as the big ones, right?
Yeah, and like the teas are a great way to do it, because if you don't like, you're like, I don't like the taste of water. This is where herbal tea. So try that stinging nettle. Try that dandelion
Tulsi,
root tea. Yes, or Tulsi.
Tulsi.
Tulsi is
Yeah,
that what you're trying to say?
I
Tulsi.
am. Yeah, but I was going to correct it, but I'm just saying that's how people usually say it. Like
Oh,
when I
okay.
get clients, that's how it is. But the Tulsi, because basil, holy basil,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? You're not going to see holy basil in a tea often. It doesn't.
Or burdock root. What about a good old burdock root?
Mm. Even like the adaptogens, like the ashwagandha, the holy basil, the schisandra, um, all of these complexes, those are herbs,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to be careful with herbs, right? Because at least an adaptogen goes in, it says, oh my gosh, Katie's not doing so well, let's pick her up, yay. Or that she's like, oh my gosh, where is she going, she's on warp speed. And if you know Katie, she's on warp speed.
I have one operating speed, Chris.
She does. We have determined this. We were trying to do a project the other day. I'm going to tattle on you. We were trying to do a project the other day, and I said to Paige and Katie, I physically have to look away from the screen. Katie, you're making me nauseous. Not because of the sight of Katie. Her cursor was going 7 miles a minute. It was all over the screen. I felt like I was on a boat or an elevator, and the elevator was going from floor 1 to 20 and a half a second. I got so nauseous, and then Paige was like, oh, I was thinking the same thing. And I was like, okay, it's not just me, because, misery loves company.
I call it efficiency.
I call it nausea.
It's efficiency.
It is. However, so anybody, if you're working with Katie, don't watch her screen.
Maybe it's just my adrenals, Chris.
Right? Go grab some ashwagandha.
I need some ashwagandha.
Just go chew on that root.
Just go chew on the whole root. Just take it right out. Because the herbs can be really great, right? Like they can be teas, like so that way you're getting kidneys, you're getting adrenal, you're getting all the things. And one thing that we should mention for kidneys is let's talk about the seaweeds. We never talk about seaweeds
because I have thyroid and I have Ashi, and the seaweeds aren't really.
They're not
my
for
love.
you.
They're not for me. They're not my jam.
They're for some people, though.
It doesn't mean that that's for everybody. But you're chatting about kelp and seaweed adrenal.
Yeah, they're adrenal.
What is it?
Spirulina and chlorella. But again,
yes.
Let's dig into spirulina and chlorella, because oftentimes then I get the comments of, I can't believe you would say spirulina or chlorella because that actually causes acne. Chris, let's debunk the myth. Why would some people find that they could be seeing an increase in their acne from having spirulina or chlorella?
They are detoxifying, highly detoxifying. They're also used to bind heavy metals and stuff like that. So if you don't know if you have heavy metals and you're pumping this in, I had a client, honestly, 2 weeks ago, this is just a personal one, right? And she was like, I think I need to add chlorella because I have all these heavy metals. And I said, why? Tell me more, right? We don't want to push these heavy metals out. It puts a lot of pressure, not just on the liver, but what happens when the liver gets tired? Mm-hmm. Who's the partner in crime that has to pick up that filtration? Those kidneys. Mm-hmm. So if you are having acne because you've added chlorella and spirulina, one, likely Fast and the Furious. You are Katie's mouse. That cursor is going all over the place. You really need to slow it down. If you get violently ill, I truly like you to go get tested for H. pylori.
Like with anything, like with any supplement, any food, there's going to be instances when it's helpful and incidents when we should just give it a miss for a little while. Mm-hmm. And that's why I try to really, aside from those big ones that we know are blatant acne fire fuels, I don't like to try to demonize things like seaweed or things like eggs or things like that, because they can be helpful in the right situation.
And most people are hypothyroid. Now, I'm not talking autoimmune. Mm-hmm. And
we need these minerals.
Yeah, we need these minerals. You need the kelps and the noris and the seaweeds and what is it? I'm going to butcher the name. So I'm not
Chlorella?
No, WAKAME.
Oh yeah. I know what you're saying, and I'm not going to try to say it either.
Okay. Usually you crush out those words, so that's why I spelled it.
I know. It's my journalism background.
There are lots of, and we're not even hitting all of them. However, there's the green algae, the blue algae, the brown algae. So just watch about, getting some extra nutrients in, rotate them out.
Yeah. And now let's do lifestyle habits, because, we love some lifestyle habits. It's, food is just one component to your health. So when we're looking at the adrenals and kidneys, the adrenals love to be loved up on, right? They like rest. Isn't that a wild concept, Chris?
They love rest.
They love rest.
You know what they are? They're like the pampered princess. It's like, take me to the spa, like love me up, Epsom salt bath.
Yeah.
Yes, what? Oh, I'll take the presents.
I'll want the gratitude. I'll do some yoga. I'll do some deep breathing. What about a little body scan?
Love this. So this goes well beyond stress, but we're saying a lot of stress
reduction practices. Your adrenals love it.
Yeah, they do. And everybody that's like, I don't like meditation, it's not for me, because their brain is just really fast and they can't control it. Can I just have one of those elixirs? Can I just drink one of those electrolyte drinks, like the LMNT? Let's just address that. Where do you think their adrenals are?
Yeah.
Right? So identify where you are in your adrenal patterns. Identify if you have an A-type personality, really that overdrive, that push, that demand, because that could be that sodium, magnesium, those electrolytes again, right? Or are you that mild, meek, reserved, but say yes to everything? But those are really like predominant personalities. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. However, both of those predominant personalities, the A is going to just overdrive and go and not going to stop. And the B personality is going to say yes to everything, but have no energy to do it, but doesn't want to disappoint, so shows up.
So let's just rest a little.
Like, just go get out your shades, go grab some sun with your beautiful SPF,
grab a stinging nettle or burdock root tea, get some hydration in there, and an Epsom salt bath, like you mentioned, Chris, because Epsom salts are a natural source of magnesium, and your body's going to be absorbing some of that magnesium in. So that's going to be helping love up your kidneys even further.
Yeah. You know what else I like? I've probably never said this before. Say
it again.
The rain.
You've never said the rain before.
Never. And that's why I said, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but watching the rain.
I love the rain.
Listening to the rain, water. And I've talked to, maybe I have done about the Shakespeare and all of the stuff that they
never mentioned Shakespeare either.
Really?
Nope, you haven't.
Do you know they don't do that in schools anymore? I was seeing them to be they do not do Shakespeare in schools any longer.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't have to read Shakespeare in English class?
Nope.
Huh. They also don't do cursive, which I think is sad. I'm going to teach my kids cursive.
My kids can read it, so it doesn't help so much. Steve can't read it and the kids can read it. So it's not even like we can play code anymore, when you used to spell the words before. However, water has a lot of therapeutic property. Not only do we need it in our body, like we have stressed, every single episode, but it has this psychosomatic, spiritual, emotional connection with cleansing. Purifying, reflection. Love yourself some. And people are like, I get migraines. Yeah, well, go to the histamine episode, because you might want to just jump in there. So that's all I have to say.
Well, I think this was a fun little episode, Chris, digging into a little bit more about the kidneys and the adrenals. So just to summarize for everybody, make sure to go back to listen to part 1 and part 2 of Detox for Your Skin, which was gallbladder, liver, and lymphatics, because they go right hand in hand with the adrenals and kidneys we just talked about. And we want to remember, eat that anti-inflammatory diet, lots of antioxidant-rich foods. We want your protein. We want your unrefined salts. We want that hydration in there. We want those lovely herbs. And if you need a refresher on any of that, you can either listen to the episode again, or in the show notes, we're going to link 2 of our blogs right in there for you. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. We will see you next week for another episode of the Clear Skin Chronicles.
Thanks for hanging out with us this week on the Clear Skin Chronicles. We'll see you next Wednesday with a brand new episode. Remember to subscribe to the show and drop us a review. Sending glowing vibes your way, Katie and Chris.